Hello, YouTube. How are you? Friendly neighborhood crustacean swimming over here. Yeah, I did both hands this time. Swimming, yes. So, do you remember when, I believe it was a week ago, when I was like, I'm going to go study every verse of the Bible and tell you about it, right? Yes, I said that. And I'm going to do it. And I'm going to start today. So, hey, where do you start? Start at the beginning, my friends. You start at the beginning. That's how you tell a story. You start at the beginning. And now this is not just any old story. Now, first of all, this video may be a little long. So, grab a drink, grab a snack, park your butt. Because we gon' talk about this. We gon' figure it out. We gon' fix it all up. Anyway, so there are over, well, almost 33,000 verses in the Bible. Hey, if you're going to go big, right? So, first one is Genesis 1:1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Yeah, simple enough, right? Well, first of all, what does this verse mean? What does it mean for me? And really, what is the completion of what it means? So, so first we gotta look at the language, because it wasn't written in our language. Like, I speak English. I can speak a little bit of Spanish, a few words of Arabic, a few words of Farsi, and probably enough French to get me slapped. So, hey, we gotta start at the language. So what language was it written in? The original language was Hebrew, and ancient Hebrew at that. And it was translated to Greek, translated to Greek about 250 BC. So why did they do that? Because they wanted it to get into the language of the common people. How do you get people to understand something? You put it on Facebook. No, you make it in the language that they're going to speak, that they read, that they understand. So that's the way we're going to do it here. So in Hebrew, it's, my Hebrew isn't great, so just hang on with me. It's Bishri Baris Elohim at Hashimin Veta Ar Eretz. Again. That is Beshrit Baras Elohim at Hashem Vets Aritz. The translation, if you were to literally translate it word for word for word, it would be like reading for the Chinese restaurant. You're like, I did that food's really good. You did a really good job, and I love Chinese, but this is awkward. Yeah, so the original language, first bar, B-A-R, how you read it in English, it means created or fattened or filled. So there are different schools of camp of what they believe God really did there. I'm going to go with created because that's what I'm going to go with. Elohim is a word for God. You might have heard that before, you might not have. Elohim is like a high word for God. El is like the Ohim, God. Ohim, creator. El, there's lots of different, as we get farther into scriptures and stuff, there's lots of different names of God with the word El in front of it. E-L. El. But right here, Elohim means power. It also means a plural power. So we're seeing Trinity stuff here in the language. Elohim, Elohim Etta, God plural Etta. So we're seeing the, what is here? Haritz, H-A, no wait a minute, I'm skipping ahead, sorry. Hashahim, Hashamayin, H-A-S-H-A-M-A-Y-I-N. Means heavens, the heavens, the sky, like that kind of thing. You look up, you're like Hashihim sky. Okay. Now, Haaretz means land, so it means like land. Duh. Alright, so now I've looked at the verse, we've looked at the language. Solution should be given. It's a very simple one. A deity made something. So, God, Elohim, et Hashmi evet Haaretz, made the heavens and the earth. Simple. Okay, so what other interpretation should we get from looking at this? That we really need to look at the original language. I mean, seriously, I would not want, if my original stuff was translated, hopefully someday, if my original stuff was translated into Spanish or French or whatever, I would want somebody to look at the original language that I wrote it in. So it gives a better meaning. Alright. And that we can get that something was created, and that, again, you can't look around this earth whether, okay, for sake of argument, let's go off in the God part of it for a minute. You believe in evolution, you believe in whatever. You can't say for a second that this earth physically isn't beautiful. I mean, I'm sorry, I just don't see how anybody can say that, in my opinion. Okay, so what? What does that mean for me? Well, first of all, before we decide what it means for us as an individual, we need to know when it was written. Well, Genesis was written, they're saying, between 1440 to 1400 BC. Now, when we do BC to the year that we live in, we go, the bigger the date, the farther the back. The earlier the date, in numbers, like 2 would be here, like 5 would be here, and 5 would be here, and 2 would be like way over here. So it gets confusing, especially for a dyslexic brain like mine, but that's how it works. So we're saying that it was written between 1440 and 1400 BC. Okay, I'm not a person that does dates, or again, I'm not a theologian, nothing like that. Just, this is a date that I found in my research. Okay, so when was it written? We got the date. What was going on? Well, the Israelites were moving from Egypt, and that's a whole nother video. They were moving from Egypt to the Promised Land. God had promised them certain places. They were in captivity, blah, 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 and they were moving out of Egypt. They were in a transitional period. And Moses was in the lead. He has a charge. He was kind of the official presidente, king. I'm not a king, not really king, I would say, but he was their leader at that point. He was the one that was in charge. He was the one that God spoke with, and so yeah, he was what they used. He was in charge. So why was it written? Why was Genesis 1:1 written? Why was Genesis written? Well, Genesis was written as a whole, to trace the history, to tell us about how things began, and to relate the promises of God. Because as we get farther in, we're going to see how He made specific promises, and He kept those promises. So that's pretty good. So who wrote it? Traditionally, it's said to have been Moses that wrote Genesis, that wrote the actually first 5 books of the Old Testament. We can say God Himself did it. Huh? God Himself? God Himself? Yes, we can say God Himself did it, because it is said that it was inspired by God, written by man. Okay, you have to think about it. God dictated to Moses and to the other writers of the Bible. This is what I want you to write. This is the content. Write it, please. They were like His secretary, so you can think of it kind of like that. God had a personal secretary named Moses. Anyway, so yeah. Well, what does it all mean? First of all, what is the meaning of all of this? That God is creator. He is a creator of order. He is a creator of lots of things. Well, thinking about order, we think about mathematics. Mathematics, my boyfriend is like extremely good at math. I am extremely not. That's why I am extremely not. And we think about math. Okay, math is very order. You have to do things in a certain order. God is a person of order. So there's math in everything. You thought you were going to get rid of it, didn't you? You thought you were going to get rid of it, didn't you? No, it's going to be everywhere. And even in these words, there's multiples of 7 Hebrew words, 28 letters. And why 7? Why 28? There is a school of thought that says this number is a symbol of divine protection. You ever heard of, like, 7 is a number of completion? It's kind of like that. We also see 3. 3. Okay, well, first of all, you see matter, space, and time. Okay, beginning, time, created matter, space, heavens and the earth. You see length, width, and depth. You see solid, liquid, and gas. I mean, all of these things are created, were made. Again, so what, Crustacean? I don't. Why should I care? So why I study the verse? Because it is the very first verse of the Bible. If you are interested in biblical things, whether you're a conservative, fundamental Christian, or you're a very outspoken atheist. I'm going to get my words out. Whether you're a outspoken atheist or somewhere in between all of that, why study this verse? Why study the Bible? Well, for one, to know truth, the scientific method. You get a theory, prove your theory, that kind of thing. Why? That's why. How is this verse important? Because again, it is the beginning verse of the Bible. The fundamentals, the foundation, if you will. If this is not right, then we can't trust the rest of it. We just can't. So, and that's why you should care. I mean, really, because if this verse is not right, then what's to say that the rest of it? Have you ever had somebody tell you a lie once, and then you're like, should I trust them? You kind of give them the face. Yeah, so that's why this verse is important. So what now? Where do we go from here? Well, we're going to, obviously, my goal is to look at every single verse in the Bible similar to this. That might not be exactly the same, but that's my goal. So that's what I'm going to do. Take a journey through the Bible, verse by verse, see how it is. And right now, we learned something. I mean, I learned a lot doing this, just in these few little words, didn't realize some of the stuff. So it's really neat to sit there and look at something that you've looked at 1,000 times and look into a lot more depth. And now we can walk away with a little bit more knowledge. And as my friend, as the YouTuber guy, Math and Taurus, says, knowledge whale. I'm not going to steal this thing. But, we get to learn something. You get to learn something new. So, thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. I know this wasn't for everybody. I do appreciate you watching. Like and subscribe. Leave a comment on what you think is a important verse in the Bible, or what you learned from this. See you in the next one.